We have saved the best for last. We have come to introduce to you your papa. For they have come from Sandy Point. They have come from Crossing Rock and Casarenas. They have come from Bahama Palm Shores and Spring City. They have come from Hopetown and Cherokee Sound. They have come from Manawar and Guanakee. They have come from Marsh Harbor. They have come for the man who means what he say and say what he means. He comes to you as your Cooperstown boy. Born and grown up in Pine Ridge. He came to you with his grandmother. He is the one who delivered the FNM in 1992. Please help me welcome the Right Honorable Hubert Alexander Ingraham.
This is the moment fans around the world have been waiting for. It's
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
enough for 2 seats.
Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. North Abaco. All of Abaco and all the Bahamas. Young people. First of all, let me tell you this. I just got a text that says that the SC Boodle High School placed first in the Model UN System competition months in Nassau today. Yesterday. And that St. Francis de Sales placed second yesterday. Both Abaco schools, congratulations. Bahamians everywhere. If home is where the heart is, my heart is full tonight here at home in Cooperstown. From Grand Key to Crown Haven to Foxtown to Mount Hope to Wood Key to Cedar Harbor to Cooperstown to Fire Road to Blackwood to Green Turtle Key to Madeira Park to Treasure Key to all the communities in between up to Murphytown and Dunderstown and Central Pines. I've had the privilege of a lifetime representing you in the House of Assembly. And I want you to know I'm grateful and thankful. It's been my privilege to serve the needs of every community that is part of the history of Abaco, from Crown Haven to Maniwaki to Moores Island. Tonight I've come to ask you, the good and loyal people of North Abaco, for one more term, I've come to ask you to vote for me for one more term to complete the journey we began when you first elected me at the age of 29 years. I'm 64 now. The son of Isabella Cornish, grandson of Prince and Lissy Cornish Cooper, to Parliament 35 years ago. While my navel string is buried in Pine Ridge, Grand Bahama, my heartstring was nourished on this soil. I am deeply tied to the Cooper, the Boodle, the Cornish family lying here in Abaco. Family and friends. The Cooperstown of Mama's youth provided little opportunity for formal learning. There was no school here in Cooperstown when she was growing up. Mama and others had to walk 5 miles through the bush to Old Place to attend school. But those of our generation knew many life lessons which are often so much more essential than formal learning. The book in which these values and lessons of common sense are written for the ages might be called the book of character, passed from one generation to the next by the examples we give and the stories we tell. Mama couldn't write her story with pen and paper. Yes, she told her story no less than the power, for example, and the life lessons that she planted in my heart and spirit and that of so many others. She instilled within me the life lesson of industry, self-reliance, fortitude, community, love of family, compassion for others, and an honest day's work for an honest day's pay. And how to love fishing. I love fishing endures to this day. It was from catching crawfish with my cousin Glenn Russell that I would earn my first savings. Fishing has also taught me many life lessons, like the importance of timing and when to throw your line out and when to bring it back in. One lesson drilled into me by Mama was the importance of schooling. She was determined I would get the best learning I could that was available here in Cooperstown and more. Her great joy was when she discovered that I could read and write. Not only did I become her regular letter writer, but also that for her riches. She demanded her letters be written exactly as she said it. She would tell all and sundry, this boy got learning. I became a monitor here in the school at the age of 12 and a pupil teacher at the age of 14. I learned how to be a wireless operator and was responsible for the delivery of groceries here in this town from a Kell shop, or a Clarence Poitier shop, or a Sam shop. I guess I've been in business of delivering for a long, long time. Mama finally agreed that at the age of 17, I was old enough to go to town and to work for Batelco. She saved my earnings from fishing and running errands. Those savings, together with money which she and Uncle Lee gave me, was sufficient for her to buy me a new 3-speed bicycle. It cost £27, 10 shillings. A lot of money in those days, nearly 50 years ago. When I was leaving this town, she told me up there at the dock, catching the boat to go to Treasure Key, "Boy, the Lord go with you." And the Lord has been with me ever since.
That's my papa.
I used to work on shift at Batelco at Soldier Road, and she didn't like me working at night. So I negotiated a transfer to the accounting department to appease her with the help of Wesley Bastian. Shortly thereafter, I found a new job as a teller at the Chase Manhattan Bank on Bay and East Street. And so I also went to Evening Institute at Government High to work on more learning. The bike Mama gave me was stolen in town. Without a bike, going to work meant walking both ways from Clark Lane off Mackey Street to Bay Street and back. It also meant walking to my Aunt Natalie on Wolf Road in the evening to wait until it was time for the Evening Institute, and then walking back to Clark Lane. But it was all for a good purpose, learning. I returned home to Abaco in 1966 to work as a paymaster for Owens, Illinois. The pay was very good, $180 a week, plus housing, transportation, and 3 meals a day. But I wanted to be a teacher. Mama had other ideas. She wanted me to be a lawyer. She wanted me to go back to town to finish my learning, she said. Back in Nassau, I bought my first car for $2,000. More importantly, I bought my first piece of land. Land was always important to Mama. You had to own land. I continued my learning, of course. I became an article student at McKinney, Bancroft and Hughes. The pay wasn't good at all. I went from $180 a week to $75 a week. Mama steadily watched my progress and the progress of her boy. She was with me for all the important events in my life, both private and public. At my call to the bar in 1972, at my wedding, at the birth of Dolores and my children, at my election to the House of Assembly for the first time in 1977, my appointment as a cabinet minister in 1982, all my major speeches in Parliament, becoming leader of the opposition in 1990, and finally becoming prime minister in 1992. I believe Mama finally accepted I'd grown and become a man when I became leader of the opposition in 1990. She stopped telling me what to do. It was as if she was satisfied I'd gotten where she wanted me to go. Thereafter, she only offered me advice. She remained well informed at the end of her 102 years on God's earth. She listened to every newscast. She followed my public career closely. I'm especially proud that she had the opportunity to live to see her grandson become Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. It was as if her dream and fate in the Bahamas reached a fuller measure than she could have ever imagined. I've tried my best to deserve being her boy and to make her proud, because for me, she lived a life of self-denial, a life of hard work and of sacrifice. I was only able to add chapters to my Bahamian story because of the early chapters of that story which Mama helped me to write. My story is so deeply tied to hers and so deeply tied to you here in Cooperstown and elsewhere in Abaco. Lord Abaco, in this my last campaign for the Honorable House of Assembly, I hope you will permit me a personal moment as I dedicate my campaign to the memory of Mama. In so doing, I rededicate myself to what motivated me in my public life to do for the Bahamian people what Mama did for me. Young Bahamians, when I speak of the opportunity societies, I often do, I speak of the kind of community and country of which Mama would have dreamt. It is the Bahamas where every child has the opportunity to use their God-given talents to realize their dreams and to build a better Bahamas. For me, another word for opportunity is hope. I've often been distressed and alarmed during this election as to the degree that our opponent's campaign has been based on negativity and fear, with very little talk of hope. To seek to tear down the country in order to lead it is a strange bargain. Sadly, their desperation has turned to panic resulting in behavior that does not make them worthy of the privilege of your trust. Ours in the Bahamas is not a perfect land. There are many challenges to overcome, especially during these tough times. We have to advance the recovery and growth of our economy and battle serious crime, particularly in Nassau, while better protecting our borders, our fisheries, and other marine resources. For all our challenges, this is still a blessed land, the Bahamas. It is a land of hope and a land of opportunity. A civil servant recently noted the gratitude of her and her family, which resulted in not a single public officer being laid off during the Great Recession, unlike many other countries around the world. Fellow Bahamians, I understand they had another All About Ingraham PLP rally last night in Nassau. They seem to think it's all about me, you know. They clearly don't understand it's all about you, the Bahamian people. They think it's all about me because I stand in their way. What they don't understand is I'm not here in their way because I put myself here. I can't make me what I am. You made me what I am. I am here because you put me here. And I take my responsibility very seriously. I serve as the gatekeeper to keep them out. Without me, they would happily go about their wheeling and dealing and dishonesty and crookedness. They would sell you out. I stand in their way. You know, I know that I heard that Lady Pinlan told lots of stories about me last night. But first of all, let me say this. You know and I know Lady Pinlan and me ain't no friends, never have been no friends. Secondly, the man about whom she spoke last night, Perry Christie, he and I have talked about her many, many times. He can say whether she is now a friend of his, but the Perry Christie I know, she was never a friend of his.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. And he is no friend of hers either. Now, I understand the hurt she must feel at losing the life privilege she believed she was entitled to live at the expense of the Bahamian people. Well, power in this country belongs to you, the people. And those of us like me and her who are fortunate enough to get elected should never forget that. The power is yours, not ours. They cause me to remind myself of the story, you know, when you are rich, never squander, and when you are poor, don't cry. Many in the elite and leadership of that other party would do well to learn and remember that lesson. Yes, you and I and the Bahamian people have caused Dame Marguerite Pinlan and them to lose their positions of entitlement in the Bahamas. And we have no regret, not a single regret for doing what we did. It was time for them to go. And we must together ensure that they never, 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 ever come back. And I'm very proud indeed. I am very proud indeed to have been the principal of the instrument, the Free National Movement, which ensured that they departed this place and to help to keep them out of this place.
That's my topic.
They do not have your interest at heart. They call their rallies Rush for Gold. What they really mean is they're rushing for oil. Keep them out before they sell you out. Abaco, Bahamians everywhere. Don't we have the challenges of today and tomorrow? We must seize what is right and good in this country to transform what is sometimes wrong and sometimes bad. I have been through the storms of life. I know the depths of the valleys and the rocky heights of the rough side of the mountain. While my journey, like many of yours, has often been solitary, I have not walked alone. A simple but compelling faith has grounded me and always reminded me from whence I came and who I belong to. In my public service, I, along with my colleagues, had to restore the economy and good name of the Bahamas beginning in 1992. We faced also the aftermath of the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks in the United States. This term, we had to face a great recession, which turned out to be the worst global economic crisis in 80 years. But we are a resilient people. Indeed, the Abaco that we love boasts a community which bears the name Hope Town, the site of a world-famous candy cane striped lighthouse. Whether a coincidence or not, I know that the main color on the Hope Town lighthouse is red, not some other passing color. The residents who named Hope Town saw in the Bahamas a land of hope and a land of opportunity. What these early pioneers saw in the Bahamas became a reality for them, and eventually a reality for the descendants of slaves through the first and second Bahamian emancipation. From around the world in the Americas, many others have journeyed to the Bahamas seeking opportunity and hope. The islands of the Bahamas are communities of opportunity and hope because our Bahamas is an archipelago of possibilities. We are a great country, not because of our size. We are a great country because of the great hope and opportunities the land affords. I know of which I speak. That Elizabeth Cooper, Cornish, grandson, had the opportunity of serving, as I have had, speaks to the enduring power and vitality of our Bahamian dream and our Bahamian story. My public life has been dedicated to being a keeper of the flame of hope, ever-expanding greater opportunity for every Bahamian child in every island, settlement, key, and neighborhood in our Commonwealth. We've also kept bright our F&M torch, which stands for progress, freedom, and good governance. I believe not only in the possibilities of communities all over this island, stretching from the farthest reaches in the north to the outermost reaches of the south of Abaco at Sandy Point. I also see the great possibilities and the extraordinary talents of young Bahamians and communities throughout the Bahamas, like Bain and Grandstown, Kemp Road, Kemps Bay Andres, Black Point, Exuma, Landrell Point, Crooked Island, Governor's Harbor, Eleuthera, Bullock's Harbor, Berry Islands. I see the hope of today and tomorrow in Tarpon Bay, Eleuthera, Duncantown, Wagon Island, Clarencetown, Long Island, Artistown, Cat Island. I see it in the villages of Staniel Key and Nassau Village, as well as in Abraham's Bay, Mayaguana, and Red Bays and Andros, and of course from east to central to West Grand Bahama and in Bimini. Fellow Bahamians, when you drive into Savannah Sound, Eleuthera, whether from north or south, there's a sign which greets one and all. It announces, "Welcome to Savannah Sound Township. Home of Mr. Timothy Gibson, composer of the national anthem." The people in Sound, as they call it, have a different accent from the people in Hatchet Bay, Deep Creek or Current, though they all live on Eleuthera. What is true for Eleuthera is true also for Abaco and for all the Bahamas. We are all proud to be a Bahamian, no matter the accents of voice or the circumstances of our birth. No matter the accents of our island chain, when you are traveling back home from overseas, you can always tell who is a Bahamian. And no matter the individual traits of our various Bahamian accents, when we sing March on Bahamaland, our national chorus is more powerful than our individual accents. Indeed, in the words of a national pledge, we are one people, united in love and service. No one party can claim that they love the Bahamas more than any other party. All of we is one family. And families sometimes have differences of opinion, which is exactly what the general election is about. Our Bahamian family is having a spirited debate over the future of the country we all love and which we all pledge our allegiance to. In this campaign for the direction of our country, Bahamas, we believe that we have the better vision and record. We believe we have the better leadership and the better team. We believe our country continues to need a delivery team and not a talking team, especially in these tough times. The country can't afford to have someone as Prime Minister who mostly talks and seems incapable of delivering on his many, many promises. The country doesn't need a talker in the Prime Minister's office. It needs a doer and a leader who delivers. It took work for the F&M to complete 95% of the promises we made in Manifesto 2007. I'm proud and grateful for the delivery team I was privileged to lead from then until now. I'm also proud on the front color of the F&M Manifesto for 2012, are the children of Abaco. Make sure each child who is on that cover gets a copy of that book signed by me and dated by me. Ladies and gentlemen, leadership requires teamwork. That's why I've traveled the length and breadth of the country to ask Bahamians to send back our delivery team to finish the work we started. I ask you on behalf of the F&M to give us an opportunity to complete the work that we began. I understand that the leader of the opposition was promising to come to North Abaco. We welcome him to come. There'll be no interference. There'll be no interference of people being bussed in or a rented crowd. We'd like him to come, see what we've done here in North Abaco and across Abaco these many years. We invite the media to come along with him and compare what has been done here in Abaco as compared to Centerville and Farm Road, much of which is represented for 35 years. We'd like him to come to this town of Cooperstown, where when I was a boy, we didn't even have an outside toilet. I had to go in the bush. In the bush. Most homes had a well to get water from. We fortunately had a pump, but most homes had a well. I'd like him to come here, walk through Cooperstown, and find me an outside toilet in Cooperstown. I'd like him to walk and find a house that don't have running water in Cooperstown. Then I want him to go back to Farm Road that he represented and tell me what he finds over there. Yes, come along, come have a look. We want to show off. Thank you very much. That's what leadership does. That's what representation does. It's telling, you know, that the three members of the House of Assembly who didn't use substantial portions of their MP allowances to improve the lives of their constituents are all PLPs. Perry Christie, B.J. Nottage, and Alfred Gray. Whether in government or in opposition, the PLP leadership seems allergic to hard work and incapable of getting things done. That's why their LOL, or laugh out loud promise of doing in just 100 days, many of the things they didn't get done in 1,825 days is a greater flam than the magical healing water that was being sold some years ago. That concoction water will do for your health exactly what the PLP will do for you. Give you false hope. Both will fail to deliver on the results promised, and both will leave you with plenty headache. Don't drink that thing they have labeled as Gold Seal. Sorry, I mean Gold Rush. That Gold Rush mixture is exactly like cuckoo soup. If you drink that cuckoo soup on May 7th, you'll wake up the next day in the next 100 days and more for deliverance. As prevention is better than cure, vote F&M so you don't have to endure 1,825 days and nights of PLP scandal and corruption. If you think they were bad before, they'll be 100 times worse this time around. Abaco and Bahamians everywhere. I want to speak especially to our family islands and to the residents of many keys in our country, from Long Key in the south to the keys of the Exoma chain in the central Bahamas, to Guana Key and Sweetens Key in the north. Timothy Gibson, who composed our national anthem and other songs of beauty, hailed from a family island. He expressed in his music a vision of the Bahamas that blends the accents, the values, and the talents of all Bahamians to build one country and one people. Likewise, the Opportunity Society we are fostering extends to every island in our archipelago of possibilities, our archipelago of hope, our land of opportunity. That's why your F&M has worked relentlessly from 1992 to provide the basic human services and infrastructure every major island group needs to create communities of opportunity and hope. From Managua to Acklins, to San Salvador to Bimini, the Spanish Wells to Harbour Island, and throughout our family islands. Even as we've been creating a new Providence, we are encouraging sustainable development throughout our far-flung archipelago. In a number of ways, Abaco is a model for family island development. Our islands of the Bahamas are, in many ways, just at the dawn of many great things to come. The PLP vision reminds me of those people in earlier times who thought the earth was flat. For our part, we look to the horizon and beyond. It is the FNM which has proven and bold leadership and dynamic new talent to steer the Bahamas ship steady sunward. Christie and crew will cause our ship of state to run aground or get caught in a big Earl slick. Just like those earlier pioneers who came to the Bahamas, we have a whole new Bahamas to build. And as we discover the extraordinary potential of this country. But its great national mission requires leadership. My vision is to make the Bahamas a global model for small island state development. We propose to build a 21st century Bahamas, leaving none behind in this country. Our vision of holistic and sustainable development includes public investments in schools, hospitals, clinics, power generation, water, roads, docks and ports, public safety, airports, and other public goods. It remains a source of some pride for this community that in 2 years of the FNM becoming the government, that a major clinic was built here in Cooperstown. This term, we accelerated our long-range program of expanding government services in our family islands, inclusive of locating the public treasury here in Abaco, so in the Registrar General's office and the passport office. When it officially opens, the Abaco and the Grand Bahama Government Administrative Complexes will be the most modern government complexes anywhere in the Bahamas, including those in Nassau. They will all be far better than the Prime Minister's office in Nassau. All of us will help to sustain population growth, attract domestic as well as foreign direct investment. We seek also to entice new residents, including Bahamians and non-Bahamian second homeowners. Those who say such silly things about infrastructure in places like Nassau take for granted how much difference even the most basic infrastructure adds to the quality of life here in these islands. And so, ladies and gentlemen of Abaco, I ask you for this one final time to represent you in the House of Assembly. Mr. Christie told the Bahamas that I'm going to lose this seat. I always figure something was wrong with Christie. Ladies and gentlemen, next week, Wednesday, we'll be back in Abaco. We'll have a rally in the south, Marsh Harbour. I have a much longer speech, but I'm going to stop talking now because I'm getting hoarse. And I got to save my voice. I got 9 days to go. We're going to win this election, God willing. You know, like in 1997, the FNM became the first and only party in the Bahamas to win every family island seat except one. We once again stand an opportunity to do the same thing in 2012. We are making great progress in New Providence. We are going to win and win big here in North Abaco. And in South Abaco. We thank you very much for your support. We will continue to develop you. I look forward with great anticipation to the development of the port here at Conch Rock in North Abaco. One of the incomplete things I have on my agenda, so we can create a better balance of the economic development and growth of the island of Abaco, so the North can develop just as the Central has developed. And so I want you to go to the donate button on the FNM web and donate some money. We don't have very much money. The PLP got plenty of money. So go to that web tonight and donate some money to the FNM so we can keep this thing going. In 9 days' time, we'll be the government again. Now, you're not going to see me anymore before the election, other than when I come here on Wednesday to speak up at Marsh Harbour. Other than that, I will see you after election when I return to you as the Prime Minister of the Bahamas once again. Thank you very much and good night.